Live? Are we live? Live from Miami? Beautiful. Good morning, Rabotai. Shavua Tov Mevorach. Baruchim Habayim to everybody. Monday, the 18th day of Adar, the second, corresponding to March 25th, 2019. The Lighthouse Torah Project, dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat Devorah Feige Bat Shemuel and Refuah Shelema of Ora Devorah Bat Rivka. The iTorah.com, dedicated L'Refuah Shelema David Menachem Ben Devorah Leah and Shidduch for Nehamadina Bat Hana Bati, among all the singles of Am Israel. Amen. Today we have a combo package available for the Kahal Kadosh. We'll discuss a couple of the ideas of the Gemara, and then we'll go quickly to part of the Zohar and part of the Musar of the day. The Gemara from Masechet Erubin tells us that Shlomo HaMelech established certain takanot for Am Israel. One takana that is applicable, and we'll do it till today, are actually two takanot. The Gemara says the takana of Eruv and the takana of Netilat Yadayim. When it comes to Eruv, we understand. We have Eruv Haserot, Eruv Tehumim, Eruv Tafshilin. For example, we have Eruv, Erev Shabbat, or Yom Tov. For example, when Yom Tov happens to be before Shabbat, the day before or 2 days before, you do the Eruv. So on Friday, we are allowed to cook in honor of Shabbat. That's one type of Eruv. Another Eruv is Eruv Tehumin. For example, to allow to carry from one domain to the other. Another one is called Eruv Haserot, to carry from one private domain to another private domain. These were takanot of Shlomo HaMelech and became part of Mizvot de Rabbanan. The Gemara explains in Erubin that the Torah is compared to an extent to a pot that has no handles, and when Shlomo HaMelech added some of these takanot, the Torah became more, I can say it, accessible to Am Israel, and we'll discuss that in a few moments. But I'm going to go quickly over the 7 mitzvot of Hachamim, so this way we know the topic. So we know the Torah has 613 mitzvot, Tariaq mitzvot, 248 positive, 365 negative, plus 7 Hachamim mitzvot gives us altogether 620, numerical value of the word Keter. What are the mitzvot of Hachamim? Number 1, Hallel in Rosh Chodesh. Number 2, Netilat Yadayim. Number 3, Berachot before we eat. Number 4, Eruv. Number 5, candle lighting for Shabbat, Fridays. Number 6, celebration of Purim, plus all of the mitzvot of Purim. And number 7, Hanukkah, and all the mitzvot related to the celebration of Hanukkah. These are the 620 mitzvot of the Torah collectively that we have. So since we have today 2 particular mitzvot from the Hachamim, established in the Gemara in the merit of Shlomo HaMelech Alav Shalom, let us quickly read the Sefer HaChinuch explanation on the topic of Netilat Yadayim, which, interesting enough, and everything is divine providence, Ashgaha Peratit, the Ben Ish Hai, in this week's Perashah, Perashah Shemini, brings us the mitzvot of doing Netilat Yadayim. Now, I'd like to perhaps put the Sefer HaChinuch on hold for a minute and read together with you the Ben Ish Hai introductions to this particular week's Perashah, Perashat Sheminit. The Ben Ish Hai quotes in the introduction to this week's Perashah an interesting Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, which is actually the last Mishnah of chapter 1. The Mishnah writes, Al Shelosha Devarim Ha'olam Kayam, Al Ha'emet, Al Adin, Be'al Shalom. There are 3 things which are mandatory to exist in the world in order to keep the world alive. the first Mishnah or the second when the Mishnah says Ha'olam Omed, the pillars of life. But how do we keep the world going? So the Mishnah writes, you need to have 3 conditions. Din, Emet, and Shalom. Judgment, the truth, and always pursuing peace. And the Ben Ish Hai says something fascinating. Emet represents the mitzvot aseh from the Torah, the positive commandments of the Torah. What does it mean? When a Jew does a mitzvah, what exactly are we saying? We believe in Hashem. Correct? And I know that somebody may be listening or watching and it says, Rabbi, so if I don't do a mitzvah, I don't believe in Hashem? Correct. If a person doesn't do mitzvot, it shows that the emunah is not 100%. Sure, you may have emunah, faith that Hashem exists. That's something that I hope is engraved in the heart of every Jew. But the more teshuvah, or the more emunah, I should say, a person has in Borei Olam, the person will come and do more mitzvot and more mitzvot, because we look at the mitzvot as a way of connecting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what the Ben Ish Hai explains when it comes to the concept of emet. Emet means en emet ella Torah. You know who was called emet? Moshe emet betorato emet. Torah sivalanu Moshe morasha kehilat Yaakov. Now, 1 second. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam שהכל נהיה בדברו. Din, judgment. Correct. But I'm not going to talk about judgment today. That's not the topic of the class today. But it's actually, what is midat hadin or midat hagevura? It means the discipline that a person has, the self-control that a person has. As Yehudim, discipline is a mandatory step in our life. We have discipline to wake up. We have discipline to say berachot. We are disciplined to do what's right. We need to have discipline to restrain ourselves of not doing what's not correct. And therefore the Ben Ish Hai says that the discipline can be manifested not only when a person does the mitzvot which are permitted to do so, permissible to do so, but actually when a person exercises self-control and restraint. And comes the Ben Ish Hai and it says, Shalom. What is the meaning of Shalom? Helek mizvot de Rabbanan, also a part of the commandment established by our Hachamim. And the question that you will ask is, what has to do, thank you so much, what has to do Shalom, peace, with the mizvot of the Hachamim? Somebody may say, isn't enough 613 mitzvot that the rabbis needed to add another 7 mitzvot? Good question, right? Obviously, we all know the answer to that, that it's really impossible for a single person to do all of the mitzvot of the Torah. If you're a male or you're a female, if you're Kohen, Levi, or Israel, you can only do a handful of the mitzvot. I think that according to the accounting of the Hafetz Haim, from the 248 positive commandments of the Torah, today we can only do approximately 75, 80 mitzvot. Why? Because the majority of the positive commandments are not applicable in our days, are applicable in the Bet HaMikdash and the laws of Korbanot and the laws of purity and impurity, that obviously until the day the Mashiach come, they are in theory, but nevertheless we talk about it. So the Ben Ish Hai explains an interesting Gemara from Masechet Berachot. The Gemara discusses how we are able to activate Hashem's mercy upon Am Israel. And you know what the secret of the Gemara is to activate Hashem's mercy upon Am Israel? Following the mitzvot of Hachamim. Following the mitzvot of Hachamim. Let's clarify. Not because I'm the rabbi, but I'm talking. There is a mitzvah to listen to the Hachamim. is one of the 613 commandments. Al pi haTorah asher yorucha. Meaning to say, if Hachamim, as we started to discuss this topic yesterday, if Hachamim see an imminent danger to Am Israel, they are allowed to build fences of protection. The Gemara brings an interesting concept concerning the mitzvah of Birkat HaMazon. Obviously, all the bread here is mezonot, so there is no Birkat HaMazon. But in the event that we will have like pita bread, that is hamosi, this is custom-made bread for the Sephardic synagogue to be mezonot, sure. And a couple of the supermarkets do have a custom-made mezonot. Ashkenazim have a different ruling when it comes to mezonot bread, if there is such a thing in the Ashkenazic world. In the Sephardic world, there is such a thing as mezonot bread. But according to the Torah, what prompts the person to recite Birkat HaMazon? The pasuk of Birkat HaMazon is the only pasuk from the Torah that talks about the concept of reciting berachot. All the berachot that we do before eating or before mitzvot are established by our hachamim. And even though, for example, I bring you one example to reinforce this concept. When a wife lights the candle in honor of Shabbat, in honor of Yom Tov, what blessing does the wife say? Asher kiddeshanu b'mizvotav b'sivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Asher kiddeshanu b'mizvotav. That God sanctified us with His commandment to light the candles of Shabbat. I ask you a question. Where did Hashem commanded the Jewish people to light the candles of Shabbat? There is no mitzvah in the Torah that says, light the candles of Shabbat. There is no mitzvah in the Torah that says, read the Megillah. There is no mitzvah in the Torah that says, light the Hanukkah. But because they were mitzvot established by the Hachamim, as we read from the Sefer HaChinuch a few moments ago, is considered like if the Torah gave us this commandment. Why? Based on the mitzvah from Shofetim that says, Al pi Torah, lo tasur yamin usmol. Let's say the rabbi says, today is Tuesday. What are you supposed to say? Amen. Today is Tuesday. What happens if the rabbi says, right is left and left is right? You need to follow. Obviously, we're not going to do it. But the message of the Torah is, don't minimize the mitzvot of Hachamim, because they are the secret of us individually and collectively to live a peaceful life. Your life is peaceful. Your life is peaceful. Everybody's life is peaceful. I hope so. But I believe so. And I know so. In Israel, Haz v'Shalom, just follow the news. Okay? Was another attack today. Correct? I don't know exactly where. Okay? South of Tel Aviv. So was this also a mistake in the GPS location? Okay? Unfortunately, we see how Ishmael and Esav are bothering us. And now Netanyahu is in town, in America. And, but Be'ezat Hashem, we hope that things change rapidly. But the Ben Ish Chai is giving us the formula how to live a peaceful life. And the Gemara writes, the Pasuk says in the Torah, Ve'achalta be'savata u'berachta et Hashem Elokecha. According to the Torah, how much bread you must eat in order to say Birkat HaMazon? The Torah doesn't give you an amount. The Torah says you need to be satisfied. So then it comes the question, how many slices of pizza or how many rolls do you need to be satisfied? Maybe somebody, one roll will be satisfied, 2 rolls, a third person maybe 3 rolls. So therefore, that's a problem because we have no guidelines. Hachamim came and made a takana. What is the takana? That once the person eats a kazait of bread, once the person eats an ounce of bread, then you say Birkat HaMazon, preceded by Netilat Yadayim, Mayim Aharonim, Birkat Hamazon, etc. One halachic clarification that Netilat Yadayim blessing must be recited only if a person eats 2 ounces, kabetza of bread. If you eat only 1 ounce of bread, you must wash your hands, and you don't have to say al netilat yadayim. You say hamotzi lechem min haaretz, mayim aharonim, and birkat hamazon, etc. Why? Because birkat hamazon, although we pay a lot of attention to the bread, but it's the whole meal. So even though the person may have eaten only an ounce of bread, that to some of us may be limited, but nevertheless, Birkat Hamazon is a collective blessing of gratitude. So comes the Ben Ish Chai and it says that when Malachim in Shamayim start asking God, why do you shower the Jewish people with blessing? And Borei Olam says, Ech lo esa panim leIsrael. How do you expect me not to be nice to them? Behem dikduke ad kazait. It says even for a kazait, something small, they already saying 4 blessings birkat hamazon. From here the Ben Ish Chai says that when a person is meticulous in the mitzvot established by the Hachamim, specifically the mitzvah of netilat yadayim, before eating bread, and all of the areas in life that netilat yadayim is a requirement, that brings beracha collectively to Am Israel. But we're going to go further. Now we're going to talk about individual blessings. Individual blessings, because collective blessing is something that applies to everyone. You want to have your own dosage of blessing. What do we need to do? So interesting enough, the Ben Ish Chai writes that, I'm going to go quickly. I'm not going to read word by word, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that he says. It says that a person should not belittle or reject or minimize the value of the mitzvot of the Hachamim. Because the value of the mitzvot of the Hachamim, and that's what the book of Etrat Tzom brings down, is a catalyst for emunah in a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Where do we learn this from? There was a great rabbi known as Kedushat Levi. He wrote a holy book named Kedushat Levi. This was the great Rabbi Levi Ishak of Bardichov, which I'm sure you heard of him. Remember him? Beautiful. We saw him the other day in the Ukraine, in Bardichov. Yeah, sure, very nice place. Beautiful holy site. Anyways, anybody who wants to go, there is a group leaving from here next week. Like 20, 25 people, yes. Uman, Bardichov, Mishbush, Israel. No, it's too far. It's on the other side of Russia, 9-hour drive. Next time. Yes. No, I need to stay because I'm sending Rabbi Azankot and my son. So I got to stay. If he goes, I stay. If I go, he stays. So you can't leave the ship without the captain, right? Beautiful. But I know the place. I went there several times already. So I know how to connect remotely. I have a VPN, like a VoIP, a voice over IP. I connect to these holy sites remotely from here. I tell you how to do it. I have the password. Anyways, of course. Anyway, so the Ben Ish Chai says, don't minimize the mitzvot of Hachamim. Because the mitzvot of Hachamim connect us with Borei Olam. Where do we learn this from? So there is a prayer that many people say on Mosa'e Shabbat. Many people, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzhak, Elokei Yaakov, Shemor el Amecha, Yisrael v'chamim kodesh Latecha, Hine Shavua Zod, Le'avat HaBoreh, Le'emunat Hachamim, Le'debekut HaBoreh Baruch Hu. It says there are certain things that a person must pray for on a regular basis. Number 1, to increase our emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And how do we get to that level of emunah? It says 2 things, emunat hachamim and the midah of devekut. What's the meaning of devekut? Devekut is from the Hebrew word debek. Debek means bonding. How does a person connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? By connecting ourselves to the Torah, to the Hachamim. And I'm not saying, when I say Hachamim, I don't mean only me. I mean to any Hacham, any wonderful Hacham, whatever place of the world you may be at, especially for the video audience or the virtual audience that listens audio file. Wherever you are, pick yourself a Hacham. As I asked a couple yesterday, who is your rabbi? We don't have one. So how can you survive life without having someone that guides you and advises you? If it's halachic questions, if it's issues of shalom bayit, of family purity, etc. Comes the Ben Ish Hai and it goes further and it says that many times people don't do netilat yadayim because they say, since I don't know how to read Hebrew, why should I do netilat yadayim? And the Ben Ish Hai says that netilat yadayim has to do with water. And water has to do with holiness and purity and godliness. And that's the whole idea of water. Water is a gift that comes from Shamayim. It's different than fire. Water, especially rains, is matana min hashamayim. That's the origin of all water in the world. And therefore, water is the most healthiest fluid that exists in the world. Even though there are many other fluids, oil, vinegar, milk, honey, wine, grape juice, soda, etc. But the most purest one is what? Is water. Number one. Number two. So the Ben Ish Hai goes even further. And so is the ruling of Hacham Obadiah Yosef in the laws of Netilat Yadayim. That even a baby from birth, you need to start doing Netilat Yadayim, because that brings Kedusha and Tahara. And although I was referring mostly for Netilat Yadayim of bread, but let's remind ourselves how many instances in life a person must do Netilat Yadayim. You wake up in the morning, Netilat Yadayim. You come out of the bathroom, Netilat Yadayim. You come out of the mikveh, Netilat Yadayim. You come out of a cemetery, Netilat Yadayim. You touch a dead body, Netilat Yadayim. What else? Intimacy, Netilat Yadayim afterwards. What else? Birkat Mayim Haronim for Birkat Hamazon. Netilat Yadayim to eat bread. You cutting your nails, Hazaku Baruch. You take a haircut, beautiful. You draw blood, Birkat Kohanim. Why so much Netilat Yadayim is required? And some of them vary. The way even we do the Netilah for bread is with Beracha, 111, 111 in the morning, and other Netilah, skipping, jumping back and forth, because the Tum'ah, when the water comes, the Tum'ah leaves. But where does it go? To the other hand. So when you throw water, comes to the other hand, goes back to the other hand, goes back to the other hand, goes back to the other hand, to the other hand. This is called, in the language of the Hachamim of boxing, 3 knockout rules. Do you know what this halakha means? You don't know? I know. I'm going to tell you. I think in a game of boxing, if one of the fighters knocks down the fellow 3 times in a round, that's it. Hazahu Baruch. That's exactly what we do to the Netilah. When we send the water back and forth 3 times, by the 3rd time, the Tum'ah says, I'm leaving the person. So Netilah has nothing to do with cleanliness, but it has to do with godliness and purity into the life of the person. And therefore the Ben Ish Hai says that a husband must, with words of wisdom and pearls in their speech, to encourage the wife and their children to do Netilat Yadayim. And it says, because that brings Kedusha and Tahara to the person, even in the case of the children who may not truly understand, even in the laws of Hinuch. And the Ben Ish Hai quotes a very powerful verse from our daily prayers. And I said this inside very briefly, I believe, in the first minyan or the last minyan. But let's open quickly the Amidah that we say during this time of the year. So the Pasuk says, Barecha Alenu, in the blessing of Parnasah, after Refa'enu, we say, Umale Yadenu Mebirchotecha, Me'osher excuse me, matenot yadecha, male means fulfill, yadenu, our hands, mi birchotecha, from your blessings, me'osher, wealth, matenot yadecha, the gifts of your hands. This refers that a person is asking Borei Olam, Hashem, send me your blessings. But interesting enough, the first letter of the word Maleh is Mem. Yadenu Yod. Mibirchotecha Mem Maim. Me'osher Mem. Matenot Mem. Yadecha Yod. Again Maim. 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 That's the reason why the tradition that when we do fill up the cup of wine on Friday night, and we add the 3 drops of water, what do we say? This particular pasuk, that in the merit of the water that I'm pouring on top of the wine, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends us great beracha. And what I said before, the name Miami, why it's called Miami? Because it's Miyam, Maim, because we are surrounded by water. That's the reason why our city, our county, it's called Miami. For this reason, why you think it's just happened to be a nice letter? Levi County on the northern part of Florida, because that's where they establish the taxes. Levi, to levy a tax, is Shevet Levi. We need to use our Torah when we listen to things that are happening in the world. That is what the Holy Baal Shem Tov says. The Zohar HaKadosh writes, Mechila, the Ben Ish Hai adds, and then we'll go a minute to the Zohar HaKadosh says, that a person should use Shefa. Izaher litol yadav beshefa. What's the meaning Shefa? Shefa means abundance. I ask you a question. When you want to receive Hashem's blessings, do you want it to be limited or you want it to be with abundance? Abundance. So it says the Ben Ish Hai, do netilat yadayim with plenty of water. Move your hands when you wash, so every inch of the hand gets covered with water. Which this reminds us, I know you, but you need to wait. Thank you so much. Here's for you. Chazal Baruch. Thank you. But we need to remind ourselves, it's coming, that also when we do netilat yadayim, the halakha says, rub your hands, remove the excess of water, and then you lift up your hands. You right over the left, as the pasuk says, Seu yedechem kodesh uberechu et Hashem, and then you say the beracha, and then you dry your hands. In Asher Yatzar is the opposite. You dry, and then you say Asher Yasar. Today is not the topic of Asher Yatzar, but we discussed this in the past, so I give you 30 seconds explanation. Asher Yatzar is to give gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the proper functioning of the human body at all levels, and it's also a good segula, a spiritual benefit to live a healthy way of life. Now, the Zohar HaKadosh talks about the beracha of Al Netilat Yadayim, Rashi Tevot Ani, poverty, Al Ain. Let me put it in writing for our audience. Okay, I'll do it quickly. Al Netilat Yadayim. If you take the first letter of Al Netilat Yadayim, gives you the word Ani, poor, poverty. So what is the halakha is telling us? You want poverty or you want shefa? Which one do you want? Shefa means abundance. Ani means poverty. Which one do you want? Shefa. No Ani, Haz v'shalom. So be careful in Al Netilat Yadayim. The Ben Ish Hai writes elsewhere that a person should never minimize the simple actions that we do. And let's clarify, this doesn't mean that the only mitzvah that we are going to do is I'm going to be makpid in al netilat yadayim and nothing else. It's a package. At the end of the day, like every part of the human body has its own mission, its own fulfillment and purpose. Every mitzvah, at the end of the day, the 248 mitzvot, what they connect to the 248 parts of the human body. And the 365 negative, they connect to the vein and arteries the human body has. So our human body, it connects itself to the mitzvot, like Sefer Haredim. You have it? It's here. Where is it? You have it inside. I think I saw a copy right there, to your right. Right there. Right there. Thank you. Sefer Haredim. Thank you so much. This is brand new off the press. Sefer Haredim, upgraded version. This Sefer Haredim was written by the great Rabbi Elazar Askari, who was a contemporary great Hacham from the time of Rabbeinu Ha'ari. He lived in the mid-1500s. He's buried right next to Rabbeinu Ha'ari, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, Rabbi Shlomo Levi Alkabetz, you know, the dream team of Mekubalim in the city of Sfat. And this book is very famous in part because it's the Sefer that connects the human body, so to speak, the human body to different mitzvot of the Torah. So let's just, for the sake of having this Sefer open, let's find a very quick, this book just came out of the press not even a week ago. Although the original was written 600 years ago, or a bit less, but there was an upgraded with a lot of commentaries and explanations that was given. So let's go quickly, discussing mitzvot. Let's talk about one mitzvah. Mitzvot related to the hands and to the human body and are suitable to be fulfilled every day of a person's life. Okay, sounds good, right? You'll be surprised. Let me open the page quickly. Let me open the page quickly. Okay, mitzvot related to the hands. Honoring your parents. You help your parents physically. You give your parents money. You stand up for your parents when they come in. Or to put on the talit, put on tefillin, put on mezuzah, put a ma'akeh, a fence of protection, fences, pools, etc. Pay your debts back. When you pay the money back that you owe, you give charity, you give a loan to a needy person, you pay the salary of your employee, you return a lost item, you return a stolen item, you bury a dead person, or you do hesed, you do a act of kindness, etc., or you save someone's life. And I'm only going quickly because there are over 70, if not more, concepts to the idea of mitzvot with the hands. Also the concept of ushering vessels, doing netilat yadayim, you know, milkat kohanim, when the kohanim lift up the hands, etc. And all these mitzvot, it says, do not know time boundaries, most of them. This was only a free sample, thank you, of the new upgraded version of the Sefer Haredim that is an expanded text. And Belineder, perhaps we can organize an extra shiur on that because I think it's very fascinating of how, you know, the body and the mitzvot at the end of the day do have a great connection. So we talk about netilat yadayim. We mentioned very briefly the beginning of the Eruvim. So we spoke about the topic of Emunah. We talk about the body. We talk about Sefer Haredim. So with that, with your permission, we are going to switch the topic. Okay? Because I still have a few more minutes. Actually, I don't, but I want to squeeze in something else. Today, the Musar talks about the great concept of Hesed. And we know that Hesed, kindness, is one of the pillars of the world. The Mishnah writes in Pirkei Avot, Al Shelosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Al Torah, Al Avodah, Be'al Gemilut Hasadim, the famous Mishnah from Shimon HaSaddik. And it says the following, In last week's Torah portion, the Musar mentioned the concept of the merit of the person who helps people do teshuvah. That's an unbelievable zechut. Why? Because you not only help a person, you help all the future generations till the day that Mashiach comes. And that's why the Musar quotes today an additional concept, the importance of doing things to benefit many. For example, a person organizes a shiur, or a person sponsors a class, or a person sponsors books or CD, or whatever situation you may have today, or you sponsor a class. You hear me, the announcement, Lighthouse Torah Project, itorah.com. You think that this is for free? Whenever I may mention names, money is being paid to have the zechut, or free technical services are being given, but the itorah.com, people pay. Why? Because they want to have the zechut of enabling people to be able to learn Torah. So whoever is sponsoring these classes is investing in an IPO. And not because it's called itorah.com, but because you don't know how many people, they click into the link and they listen to the Torah class. And you're doing chesed while you're sleeping. You're taking a shower and you're doing mitzvot. You understand? You are in your office or driving or in the airplane and you're doing mitzvot. And it says, Mikol Shiken. It says, when it comes to do Gemilut Hasadim, Bikur Holim, visiting the sick, Hava'at Shalom Ben Adam LaHavero, when a person becomes a peacemaker between husband and wife, between friends, between relatives, Be'achnasat Orhim, and welcoming guests. And welcoming guests doesn't necessarily limited to welcoming guests into the home, welcoming guests into your store. How do you welcome a customer? I'm sure with a smile. Otherwise, he will not buy anything from you. Somebody comes to the shul. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba, welcome back. These are small baby steps. And what are these mitzvot? Ochel perotehem ba'olam hazeh, be'akeren kayemet le'olam haba. It says the Mishnah that these simple baby steps mitzvot, which, by the way, they are part of our daily prayers. In the Korbanot part, the Mishnah says, these are the mitzvot that a person does. A person gets perotehem. Perotehem, let's call it the interest of the mitzvot in this world. But the real reward is after 120. Mitzvah number 1, honoring parents. Performing act of kindness at all level. Bikur Holim, visiting the sick. Achnasat Orhim, welcoming guests. Hashkamat Bet HaKnesset, coming to the synagogue early. Ba'ava'at Shalom, and making peace. Ben Adam LaHavero, uben ish leishto, between friends and between husband and wife. Rabotai, the Musar of today is part of our Shaharit. You know, before Hashem Melech, there is a couple of pages known as the Korbanot. Have you heard of this before? Have you heard of this?
Every day I say.
No, but me too. But many people believe that this is extra page, extra printing in the book. It's not optional. This is what makes our tefillah complete or incomplete. Because at the end of the day, the prayers is divided into different segments. And it says, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Gemara writes, and it's in Masechet Berachot, I believe, Ha'osek b'Torah, a person who learns Torah, who occupies himself in Torah learning, ugemilut hasadim, and performs act of kindness. So meaning to say you have both elements, Torah and Hesed. Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty says, Ma'ale ani alav, I consider this fellow, Ke'ilu peda'ani li ulbanai mi ben ha'umot. I consider like if this individual had redeemed me, God says, and my children from exile. You know what this Gemara means? That a person who learns Torah and does Hesed, for that person, Mashiach is already here. Mashiach is already here. I didn't say this. God says it. Listen again. Ma'ale ani alav. You understand Hebrew, some of you. I consider, God says, ani, God says, alav, upon that person, ke'ilu peda'ani li ulbanai mi ben ha'umot. Like if they redeem me and my children from the four corners of the world. What is Mashiach's arrival? The gathering of the masses. Obviously, we want Mashiach to come with a full package, but this is a free sample of Mashiach's arrival. Behi midato shel Avraham Avinu an Yaakov Avinu. As the pasuk says in the Korbanot again, Titen emet leYaakov, Chesed leAvraham, asher nishba'at leAvotenu mimei kedem. And that's the reason why the Mishnah there that we said says V'Talmud Torah keneged kulam. And the Musar of today reinforces the question of yesterday's Gemara. Kabata itim la Torah. It says, did you set up specific times to learn Torah? Remember what was the first question? Nasata benatata ve'emunah. Did you develop your faith? Were you honest in business? Question number one. Question number two, what is it again? No, that's a question number three. Kabata itim la Torah, right? Did you set up time to learn Torah twice a day? Number three, asakta ve'pirya ve'rivya. Did you educate your children in the ways of the Torah? Number four, tzipita leYeshua. Did you hope for Mashiach to come in your time? And what's question number five? That's number four. Tzipita leYeshua is number four, hoping for the redemption. Question number five is, himlachta et havercha. Did you treat your fellow men as a king? Not easy answer. We need to try. That people don't do it is not a good answer. The idea is shalom bayit at home, shalom with the friends, having a Shem Tov, treating people respectfully. That's the idea of imlachtet havercha. Doesn't mean to put a crown on the head of your friend. The message is basically derech eretz.
Be nice.
Be respectful, be proper, be nice, etc. My dear friends, there is much more things to say, but I think that today I gave you a lot of goodies. Okay, and I need to get ready for the ladies' class that starts in a few minutes. So I'd like to say to everybody, Shavua Tov u'mevorach, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben